act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah. Fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine, yeah. Everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine, yeah. Everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one.
Right, boys, right to business. So first of all, podcast with Dave Lee went up yesterday, or it was like Thursday night or something at 9 p.m. And now it's got 2,000 views. You want to push that to like 4,000 or 5,000 views. So for those of you that didn't see it, let me just quick show it to you. If I could go to window capture and capture this here. Give me 1 second to shrink myself, and this should be what I'm looking for, yeah. Okay, so this podcast right here was an hour and a half long. Me and Dave Lee discussing Dave's position on HCG. I really wanted to give Dave a chance based on a piece of literature that shows how different HCG is from LH to expand upon his reasoning for, the suggestion really not to use HCG. So this is it here. It's an hour and a half podcast. Me and him go deep on all those topics, including cream. We spent a lot of time on cream. We kind of kept coming back to the utility, the efficacy, and the ease of use of testosterone cream for TRT, especially for people that, like where the major problem exists with long esters where you aromatize too much. And, cream offers kind of a perfect solution to that, right? More DHT, a little less estradiol, a faster acting modality. I mean, look, I know people that can't tolerate longer esters just because they sort of act too slow. And that might be a metabolism issue. Nobody really knows. But cream, you're not going to not notice it. So big, long podcast. Go give it some love. It is the first or the latest video on our channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was fucking fun. Dave is a great guy, and we had a really interesting conversation. Second thing, Sourceless is 50% off. Okay, so finally, those of you that have been waiting to get Sourceless for a break or a discount, I got a discount code in the description. It's also on the screen. It's literally just Source. You enter that at checkout. And to get Sourceless for 50% off, that's a fucking huge discount for something that took me 3 years to put together and is very valuable. I mean, if you need DHT, if you need to be able to make your own DHT gel, which might be crucial for you recovering sexual function, please get that product. Otherwise, let me just see if there's anything else here. I think that's it. Let's just jump right into questions and get the discussion going. Don't know what this is here, so couldn't tell you. Fluffy the Chubby says podcast with Dave Lee was great. Keep up the good work. Glad you watched it. Podcast plan with Vigorous Steve, not at the moment, but I should get with him and we should bring him back, or I'll go on his channel. Steve seems to really be focusing on the bodybuilding side of things, which is his forte, right now. I haven't seen him talk about TRT much lately. Glad you guys watched the podcast with Dave Lee. Again, go watch it if you haven't watched. It's an hour and a half of us just riffing back and forth about shit. Not always agreeing on topics relative to estradiol as an example, but getting out our positions nonetheless. And I really kind of gave Dave the opportunity to speak his mind on a variety of topics. So please go watch that podcast. All right, Zayed, let's talk about theanine. I haven't heard that word in a while. All right, so theanine versus magnesium. Excuse me. I would, they're both pretty good, man, for this, for sleep and anxiety reduction. Magnesium modulates some GABA receptor function, I think GABA A. So that's good. Prevents some excitatory glutamate action in the brain, which is good and should allow people to kind of feel generally less anxious. Theanine is somewhat of a serotonergic and a GABAergic, but it also forces the brain to release some dopamine. So I think it has more productivity benefits compared to magnesium. I think magnesium is a staple supplement most people should take, if you don't eat a lot of vegetables, as an example. Whereas theanine is like as needed anxiety reduction kind of thing. It's a very fucking powerful nootropic like chemical. I've been taking it on and off for probably about 15 years. Theanine was one of the first compounds that I ever used when I was trying to get over my, my post-army, post-Iraq, like lack of integration into society. I was very frustrated. Like no one was on time. Like I just gone through all that shit. Theanine helped me a lot. Okay. Can HCG increase libido? Well, it can. I'm on TRT and not as high as it used to be. It is 500 IU 3 times a week, a good starting dose. Now, I think you should start with 250 every other day or every third day. Remember, HCG, in addition to some of these unknowns, which you broke down in the Dave Lee podcast, which cause side effects for people, HCG is highly estrogenic, right? It's highly estrogenic. So, I have a couple clients that we got to microdose it. I'm talking about 50 IU a day, 50 IU every other day. Just enough to get them the benefits of HCG without causing estrogenic side effects. So think about that regarding dose. Regarding libido, yes. I mean, look, it'll make it balances out the intratesticular hormone environment more so than just straight TRT, even with the addition to DHA and pregnenolone. At the same time, there's no literature to support this, but there's something to the enlivening of the testicles, and that might have to do with like epididymal DHT conversion. Your epididymis converts some testosterone to DHT. Obviously has to do with seminal fluid, possibly the dorsal nerve in the penis that allows people to have better general sexual function and sensation and things like this. So, it is necessary for a good degree of people on TRT. Should there be an alternative? Yeah. I mean, yes, right? Because HCG just, will take your estrogen 20 points up, even if you're on a modest dose or a low dose compared to what is typically suggested for fertility. So, yes, HCG can increase libido is that was a long way of saying that, but you've got to be careful with the dose. Okay, Simon Stone, after your podcast with Dave, do you think all TRT protocols should incorporate some sort of thyroid support? Should it be a staple? I don't think so. No, again, I don't necessarily agree with everything Dave says. It was an opportunity to give Dave a chance to say what he thinks. That's all. I don't think everyone should be on thyroid supplements or thyroid stuff. I think you should have a pretty functional or pretty optimal thyroid hormone status. I feel like my lighting is a little too, there we go. It was a little too like orange for a second there. Regardless, you should have a healthy thyroid, but if, only in the presence of close to hypothyroidism or thyroid numbers that look fine, but you have symptoms of lower performing thyroid, like body temperature, like your body temperature being low. That's like the predominant thing. If you're one of those people that runs cold all the time, then you might want to consider that. Other than that, people that need it, people that require, or they would just feel energy wise a lot better on higher thyroid hormones, definitely take, prescription thyroid hormones or a natural desiccated thyroid hormone supplement. Like it's if your set point on T3 and T4 needs to be a little higher than it is, even if you are in range, you'll probably feel better. Right? You'll just generally feel fucking better. And so one needs to determine that for themselves. For me personally, as an example, I don't take prescription thyroid medication, but I do take a desiccated thyroid glandular supplement, and it really helps my energy. And it keeps my numbers really good. It actually does modify my numbers. They're higher than they would be, T3 and T4 specifically, if I wasn't taking it every day. So just something to consider. Fluffy the Chubby. What's the best way to consume DHT powder? I remember you said something about special capsule and olive oil. Well, I was doing it initially in a capsule that basically opens up and delays essentially metabolism a little later than usual. Remember, your stomach acid has the ability to degrade certain material. I learned this when I was using nootropics, that certain people that have more acidic stomachs, those are the types that typically they reflux into their esophagus or their larynx, God forbid. These people got less of effects from nootropics at the same dose, like that other people would get profound effects. And we just hypothesized maybe they were burning through some of the material via stomach acid. So I was taking it's called enteric coated capsule, a 00, vegetable enteric coated capsule, which delayed the absorption basically, right? So it could get into the intestine and truly absorb into my blood. So that's an optimal way to do it. Otherwise, though, I've taken it without those capsules as well, and it was pretty much just the same. I don't have an overabundance of stomach acid. I think one could argue most people probably need a little more stomach acid than they have. Dream Big, can HCG cause me to be having high progesterone? Yes, definitely. Yeah, I mean, again, it is highly progestogenic. That's one of the major purposes that it serves in a female's body in the context of pregnancy. So yes. There is a mechanism for which it can raise prolactin as well. I don't know if it's a direct stimulation. It's of the lactotropes, because kisspeptin does that. Kisspeptin has a mechanism by which it directly stimulates prolactin. So you want to be careful with that stuff as well. But this is entirely possible. If anything, though, the lowest hanging fruit explanation is the aromatization of testosterone into estradiol, which we know causes high prolactin for certain individuals. 17 is pushing it. Yeah, you're at the level where a couple nanograms per milliliter above that, and you're going to start getting ED and libido problems if you don't already have them. Yeah, I generally recommend to stay between 8 and 13 nanograms per milliliter of prolactin. You don't want that hormone high. It's a fucking killer for everything. And it causes cardiovascular disease if it's high long enough. Yeah, you're on 100 milligrams 2 times a week and E2's in check. Then it might be. Otherwise, for prolactins like creeping up there, I don't know. You want to look at booze, kratom, things of this nature to make sure that you're not overdoing any of those. Can't discuss the price of DHT. We don't discuss sources or pricing or any of that kind of stuff. You can check out Source List, which is on the top part of the screen. It's 50% off right now, guys. The coupon code is down in the description of this video. That special is going to end, I think the 13th or 14th of January. So you only have a couple days to get it. Dream big. From client experience, do you think 50 milligrams 2 times a week of Masteron enanthate will cause hair loss? Not as much as I think not as much as Proviron and not as much as Primobolan, you know, and in that order. Proviron is probably the least hair safe DHT derivative there is, and not because it increases DHT somehow. It's because it is rapidly increases your free testosterone. Yeah. So this is all person dependent, though. I mean, some people lose hair on Masteron, some people won't. You know, some people lose hair on Anavar, some people won't. I didn't get a degree of shedding running a brief period of Anavar, so but Proviron nukes the hair right out of my fucking skull. So it's just something to think about there, bucko. Okay, Chris Doherty, does DHT powder take a while to feel? No. Taking 20 milligrams, worked my way up to 60 sublingually and didn't notice much. Well, you might not need DHT. You know, I mean, I don't know. There might be some absorption issue. You might be clearing it too quickly because you're dosing it sublingually and it's getting in fast and it's getting out quick. Remember, there's this thing called inter-individual variability, which deals with the genetic basis for metabolizing drugs. And some people metabolize drugs very fucking quickly. So they need double, triple the therapeutic dose in order to get a therapeutic response. So you might need to be dosing 100 milligrams of DHT. I wouldn't think so. However, though, what are you looking to notice? You know what I mean? I'll tell you what, if your estradiol is too high for your set point for you, then you really won't notice DHT. Yeah, you really won't notice DHT as much. Estradiol can be pretty overpowering when it comes to, you know, especially the sexual stuff. Like if it's just too high, you can take a lot of DHT and it'll help, but it's going to be diminishing returns because estradiol is just inhibitory to base penile blood flow and things like this, nitric oxide, stuff like that. So just something to think about, brother. Also, though, I mean, are you taking it in the context of TRT, in the context of what? Like, you got to expand upon that if you want me to really give you a better answer. Okay, what do I suggest for starting dose and frequency for testosterone for TRT? What I suggest to start would be get some testosterone enanthate. Don't try cypionate. We're just going to have a hard time dialing in. And then dose like 70 milligrams every third or fourth day. That's what I would suggest, because your estradiol is, though going to peak initially, it's going to end up leveling out because you trough at a very reasonable libido safe and erection safe range, usually between 25 and 40 picograms per milliliter on that. Now, if you add HCG, it's going to bump it up, so you got to be careful and weary of that. So again, dose HCG mildly or low dose to start to see what you can put up with. If you find that with testosterone enanthate that you cannot dial in terms of sexual functions, that's really the biggest problem on TRT for people because of estradiol. Then you could try running 60 milligrams every 3.5 days. And that'll again take that estrogen down a little bit and probably get you in your sweet spot. The lowest I would go would be 50 milligrams every 3.5 days. If you can't make that work, just switch to either prop or cream. Yeah. And start at 20 milligrams of prop a day. And with cream, start with 2 pumps of cream, transcrotol, 200 milligram per milliliter, 200 milligram per gram, 20% Versa base or HRT based cream, and do that in the morning and don't dose it at night. Yeah, I often find with cream that, like, I generally disagree with the notion of 2 and 2 because that typically tends to raise estradiol a little much, even though DHT is antagonizing to estradiol and whatever. If you look at the pharmacokinetic studies on transcrotol cream, it's the lowest doses, or correction, the highest doses, which was just 50 milligrams of cream. Took people to 700-800 nanograms per deciliter with estradiol at 35, or estradiol between 20 on the low end and 35 on the high end, 32 or 33 or something, right? So, you know, cream can push estrogen up too. So those are that in that order. That's what I would do. Master RC student, thanks for the super chat, brother. Appreciate that. Do you take P5P and Chandra or just one for managing prolactin. I would take both. And great. I hope you enjoy the source list, and more importantly, enjoy like the rapidly deliverable androgens, whatever you want, to your doorstep in a couple days if you're in the States. Elsewhere too, and people keep asking me this, and I've said it 100 times that I know people can't watch all of our content. The source list has vendors that ship internationally, so wherever you are, you can get product from source list. If you have a prolactin problem, meaning it is over range, I would be taking both. Yeah, I'd be taking both for sure. You want to hit that at every angle because you do not want high prolactin. Okay, does DHT make you feel better than testosterone? Subjectively, yes. You know, I get good DHT conversion from testosterone, meaning I've got healthy 5-alpha reductase enzymes. But, and not everyone has that, you know, like PFS people don't. So that's a problem. But generally speaking, the effect from DHT and Proviron, as an example, is much more pronounced because you're just dosing it exogenously and bypassing like any kind of rate limiting shit that might happen in your body that deals with how much you get biologically available of DHT. And I mean, you're going straight to the source. You're just administering pure DHT. So you fucking feel it just like you feel Proviron. Again, it is everything. Me and Dave talked about this on the recent podcast. It is everything you would think that a man should be. Like the characterization of a man, DHT makes you feel that way. It's very, very cool. Okay. Chris is a low responder to most drugs. Yep. And you might be just clearing stuff. I mean, you know, I'm a somewhat fast clearer of drugs. So I need somewhat higher doses of stuff, you know, in order to get the right effects. I mean, I'll get a pronounced effect right away, but then it'll just rapidly taper out. So I've got to, you know, work accordingly regarding that. So could be you. Dream big. Have any of your clients experienced insomnia from HEG in their protocol? Yes, 100%. Definitely. Yeah. And it's, listen, again, there's always a dose threshold for HEG where you can still get the benefits and not have the problems, you know? So for those people, 50 IU every day, 50 IU every other day, 100 IU every other day, something like that works best. Otherwise, though, like if you think that there are some people that take 1,000 IU every fourth day or third day of HEG and don't have anxiety or don't have sleeplessness, you got to ask what's wrong with the people that are taking it and getting sleeplessness, right? So it's interacting with them in a negative way. It's their body's reaction to HEG. It isn't HEG inducing it, because HEG would induce that in everybody if that was the case. So yeah, you know, it's individually specific, and people have to look at their own physiology, brain physiology specifically. Preston's reporting on injectable carnitine works great. I'm in a cut and felt it has increased the rate of fat loss mildly. Yeah. The transport of fatty acids to mitochondria is the primary thing that gets optimized with carnitine. So it is fucking worth it. It's worth it. I took Alcar. I still take it. I just haven't taken it in a while, but I've taken Alcar for like 15 years or something. Predictably effective for brain performance for sure. Orlando has been using Male Excel 400 milligrams per milliliter cream. Is that what I'm getting from you? I think they do high dose the cream. That's a lot. Every time I apply the product, it leaves a white powdery substance. So yeah, you probably just have a crappy base. You should get the Versa or the HRT base. That stuff works the best. Did I ever use Male Excel's cream? I did. I actually still have some of it left. I don't remember it. I'll tell you this. Defy Medical's cream is much more absorbable. It's much more like when you rub it on. I'm running cream now, 3 pumps a day. Yeah, I don't even see it. Like I rub it on, it dissipates within the first minute, and then that's it. You know, put my pants on and go on my day. So probably just want to switch vendors, honestly. Okay, Simon, for clients who are susceptible to E2 sides like gyno, do you ever suggest a prophylactic dose of an AI and then slowly work the dose down to where they feel good rather than low and work up? In this case, I would probably have people running a low dose of Masteron and rather than an AI, because the aromatase inhibitor effects of Masteron are a little more mild, so it's less likely to skew your lipids or cause you to have like funky joint pain, transient joint pain. So, but it's an estrogen receptor antagonist, which is what you want in this case. Dopamina, have you ever seen other men become intolerant to caffeine after starting TRT? I have not, but I don't see it being out of the realm of possibility if you already have pretty high blood pressure or historically your blood pressure is sort of right on the barrier. You know what I mean? This isn't a normal thing. However, you know, there is such a thing as people optimizing energy and brain function so much that caffeine gives him anxiety. It just makes him too racy and too runny. I'm somewhat on the borderline of that. You know, the extent of my caffeine in the morning is a small cup of coffee. It's a latte. And then I don't have any other caffeine in the day. It's so optimized otherwise that it would make me energized. Now, that extra, call it potential anxiety or just overstimulation, would taper off in about a week, but I wouldn't want to, you know, I don't want to deal with it because I took a long break from coffee. So coming back on and it was like, okay, I can only tolerate a little bit. How do you recover from anhedonia caused by PT141 use? Well, first of all, you should determine whether or not PT141 caused this. It is possible because it's forcing a bunch of hypothalamic dopamine and you're probably not repleting it. So that's almost definitely your problem. Take Mucuna purines as the answer. Simon Stone, are you on any anastrozole or aromasin with your current protocol? No, I'm rubbing 3 pumps of cream on the transcranial cream on every day in the morning. That's just as a dose that works really well for me. 30 milligrams pregnenolone a day. I run at this point a 50 milligram DHA supplement 3 times a week. And I'm running 150 IU HCG every other day or every third day. You know, sometimes I can get away with every third day. So sometimes I can feel the shrinkage happening and I just want to, you know, double back up on HCG on the second day. So with that, my estrogen doesn't go problematically high. Yeah, no. But on 4 pumps of cream in that same protocol, probably would, you know, so I would have to do something about that. Yeah, cream is so powerful. Look, man, I mean, you don't need a lot of it. You really don't. The only benefit to having more cream in most normal guys' cases is anabolism, you know, is anabolism. I'm on a lower dose and it's just right in the morning. So I trough about 18 hours later and I'm still very strong in the gym and very anabolic. So that's kind of where I'm at. Thank you, brother. All right, Preston with a $9 super chat. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Running 400 milligrams per milliliter prop. Okay. During my cut, in order to preserve maximum muscle, I'm getting mild high E2 sides. Do you still feel aromasin is superior to Remix? Yes, I do. I generally do because it's slower. It's a slower drop. And the part of the reason people get side effects with aromatase inhibitors is due to how quickly it lowers serum estradiol or probably tissue level estradiol, both. But I think where you're feeling the negatives is at the tissue level. Whereas aromasin does that slower. Still got to be modest with your dose because it takes longer to rebound. So if you overdose it, you'll take a week to get back to normal rather than 3 or 4 days. You probably take 8 to 9 days to get back to normal. So what is your overall dose though? 400 milligrams per milliliter is a weird preparation of prop. It's usually 100 milligrams per milliliter. I'm not sure where you got that or what that's about, but in your case, I don't know what your dose is, but in your case, you probably ought to lower that dose. Yeah. Jones, will I become a bitch if I keep taking HCG? Scared to continue after your podcast with Dave Lee? No, you just need to go read that. If you really want to understand it for yourself, go read that paper. All the paper did was distinguish LH from HCG and say there's a lot of unknowns in the male body regarding HCG, and that predominantly in females it's a progestogenic compound. That's what it serves to do. Now look, the luteinizing hormone chorionic gonadotropin receptors, which it binds to, agonize and activate in response to HCG. It sits at the receptor a lot longer than your luteinizing hormone, but it does stimulate, steroidogenesis intratesticularly for men. So there's a use for it for men, but again, the major point of that podcast was to give Dave an opportunity to talk about his position on this. People have different responses to these drugs. For Dave, he doesn't need HCG. So that obviously weighs into his bias on don't use it or whatever, people shouldn't use it or whatever, because he doesn't need it, right? But plenty of people do. So, I use HCG. I'm not worried about being feminized or fucking any of that shit, dude. Dude, I'm about as the opposite on that fucking spectrum as you can get with HCG. And there's been points where I dosed high dose of HCG. It just doesn't mess with me negatively until it's high dose and it messes with estrogen. That's all. But it doesn't give me anxiety or any other shit. So, I mean, it's going to be different for different people. You have to find out, do you respond negatively to HCG? Even at low doses. If you do, you fall in the camp that Dave's talking about. If you don't, you fall in the camp of people of whom there are many who tolerate it just fine. Yeah. Lewis doesn't tolerate higher end of the reference range testosterone levels. Thyroid seems fine. What should I be looking into? I don't know, because you're not giving me your symptoms. So no one would have any fucking idea what to tell you. You don't tolerate it. What's that mean? Come on, man. Dream big. Have any of your clients experienced unusual hair thinning from HCG? No. Whether it's autoimmune or response to DHT, no. Never happened. Nope. It's unlikely the HCG. Is liquid anastrozole okay to take? I think I have a few clients who have used it. And it's a good way to microdose anastrozole, which is good. It's a good thing to not have, not overload yourself on anastrozole, because that shit's going to cause problems if you take too much. And unfortunately, too much is like very little for some guys. It's very fucking little, man. So just something to think about there, brethren. Just something for you to think about there, brother. Revelation, been on TRT for a year. No result in libido and sex drive and erection quality. Estrogen is low. How low? Yeah. Estrogen, DHEA, pregnenolone, and intratesticular function are the things to look at when your sex drive and your libido, your erections are not good on TRT. Yeah, the most primary reason for bad erections on TRT is estrogen's too high. In some cases, testosterone's too high, because you'll have estrogen at 30 because of the use of an AI or use of Masteron or whatever. But testosterone's at 1500, and that person just doesn't have good libido there because there's no hormone balance. The ratio is just very fucking skewed. There is such a thing as that. So might want to look into that. But again, it's estrogen being in the sweet spot, testosterone being in your sweet spot, having enough conversion to DHT, which I don't know if you measured that, but you should, so that you can see if you're making enough DHT. And otherwise, intratesticular function. If the testicles are shrinking like raisins and your hormone environment in the testicles is non-existent or very skewed, then that's going to affect the organ that's literally attached to them, called your penis. It's going to. So this is sort of the basis for Leo Longevity's position on HCG or HMG or RFSH being necessary for a lot of people on TRT. You might want to think about that. Those are the things that I would look at. Yeah. Because that's always the route you look at when shit like this happens. And you're running 100 milligrams a week. Yeah, I mean, maybe bump that dose up. But I honestly think you should at least be taking DHA and pregnenolone, at least, and try a low dose of HCG, just very low dose. I mean, if your estrogen is low, I don't know what that means. Below 20 would be low. Anything above 20 is not low. Oh, okay. So Preston, who's having estrogenic sides on prop, is running 400 milligrams a week. Yeah, that's why. That's why. Highest I've gone on prop, well, I've gone to 490. Yeah. But see, I could tolerate it just fine with a little bit of zinc as estrogen control. 70 milligrams a day. That's 490 a week. Also 3 pumps of cream in that case. So I had more DHT. But all that did was make my erections very, very hard and firm. I mean, like annoyingly firm and hard. If I control the estrogen a little bit. I could tolerate higher estrogen because of the higher androgen load in that case. Dark Fitness, you spoke on DHEA, looking into adding it possibly, never taken it before, but have some from Life Extension. 25 milligrams a day is good. And if it's a DHEA with a bunch of other supplements, get rid of it. Yeah, get a Douglas Labs micronized DHEA on Amazon. Yeah, this annoys me a lot when you're looking for a fucking protein powder, so you just want the amino acids, but it's got spironolactone in it. Like, come on, the market, meaning non-educated people, drive this sort of shit where people go, let's just throw everything in the kitchen sink at the supplement, and it's like DHEA plus 4 other fucking things. It's ridiculous. Those of us that are selective about what we put in our body only get supplements that have what you want in them. You find D3 supplements, vitamin D supplements, that they also have calcium carbonate. Well, that fucking lowers your stomach acid. Stupid. It's fucking stupid. So just get DHA. And of course, thanks for watching. Trey, have you ever come across DHEA enanthate or prop? No, I have not. I have had people make it. Yeah, you can make it from the powder, but I couldn't advise you on how to do that. I haven't tried it. I mean, I got plenty good effects from oral DHT and transdermal DHT gel. Both Endractum and then a 4% cream that I made. Was it 4? I think 5%. Dream big. Can 90 BBC cause back pain? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't see a mechanism for that. Higher dopamine than you're used to. The side effects from that are impulsiveness. Like, you might go to Hobby Lobby and spend $500 on new shit for your house when you don't need it, or you might try gambling if you have some extra money, or if you were a previous drinker, you'll go to the bar. Or if you're a previous smoker, you'll buy a pack of cigarettes. That sort of impulsiveness. Otherwise, jaw clenching. Yeah, I have had that side effect from very high dopamine several times throughout my tenure of using nootropics, especially, and it just didn't feel good. Dark Fitness says, that's what I thought regarding DHEA. I was worried if it reacted negatively. I wouldn't know for sure if it was a DHEA or something. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you want to be super scientific with supplements, and anything that you take, not having it be convoluted with a bunch of other things. Yeah, I always found that to be such a problem. But again, supplement manufacturers in this context are, they don't care, because to them, it makes the product with more ingredients more appealing to idiots. Excuse my crassness, but that's really what it is, right? People who won't be nuanced about what they're putting in their body. How many points would DHEA move E2? This is a good question, because DHEA can convert both to DHT and estradiol. So it's unclear. You might be looking at 5 to 15 points, depending on your lifestyle and your aromatization rates, as well as your testosterone dose. DHEA, though, is so super critical at a TRT protocol for most men that you want to adjust your protocol to get DHEA in, meaning probably lower your TRT dose or lower the HCG or something. Yeah. Yes. Lewis can't tolerate higher reference range testosterone because he feels cranked, more emotional, less masculine, and thyroid seems fine. I add in 30 milligrams zinc daily. Low dose DHA also drove anxiety up. Yeah, again, I would almost definitely wager you're new to TRT. So number one, this will go away over time. Take some L-theanine in the meantime, or magnesium, and that should solve the problem, but it will go away over time. Secondarily, if your estradiol is over your sweet spot range, you're going to feel these kinds of things, especially less masculine. That's fucking exactly what it does. That's exactly what it does. I remember in the beginning of TRT, when I was experimenting with doses, I've been running a daily protocol of 30 milligrams a day. And then I skipped a day, and then I ran, 60 milligrams at a time? And I literally watched myself go. Then my erections were fucking superb for about a day, and my libido was very high, and I felt really good. And then I watched myself over 36 hours, as it was ultra peaking and the estradiol was peaking, go from masculine and calm with a hard dick to nervous around women. I remember this one girl, Mary, who she's really just a friend, but we had a couple intimate, moments throughout the time that I knew her. And we were at this meeting together, and I remember being so fucking nervous around her. And I've known her for months prior, and we had sex once, and it was not that kind of thing. That was my estrogen in the early stages going over my range, and I wasn't used to it. So I want to think about that. Brother Hector, good morning. Funny you and Dave Lee talked about thyroid. I have Armor Thyroid on the way from the clinic. Great, man. You probably fucking do it. Tell you what, you gotta be careful. If it doesn't make you anxious out of your mind and energized out of your mind, then it will do you well. I've always felt off on TRT, always have trouble dialing in, even on prop. Yeah, there's a variety of different reasons why that could happen. But if you have a sluggish thyroid hormone output, then it will help. Yeah, and if you're subclinical, meaning the numbers look fine, but somehow your body needs a higher set point of T3 and T4, then you'll do better. If you don't need that, and it was just a theory that you had, well, you'll find out fucking soon enough, and you'll have side effects. Yeah. Jixer, telmisartan and tadalafil both taken daily for various benefits, but also to lower BP a little. Is this okay? This will depend on how high your blood pressure set point is. Yeah, I couldn't do that. On cycle, dude, I didn't fucking need telmisartan, and I was running half a gram of test a week. So my blood pressure was literally 117/75, just never went above range, except for after I ate some food, after which it would just go right back down. So I couldn't do this. But if you're pushing 140 over fucking 30, yeah, you probably should be doing that. Yeah, you probably should be doing that. I think you'd be able to get away with it just fine. People that have pretty regulated blood pressure just get lightheadedness when they take telmisartan and things like that. And it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. Matt, what are my thoughts on heart inflammation and starting TRT? Do you think it's safe for people with heart conditions to begin TRT? It's a hard one. I do, generally speaking, but I don't think it is wise to high dose TRT in that case, right? Particularly because your blood's going to get thicker and that's going to exacerbate these issues. If you high dose TRT and you don't control your hematocrit, not everyone's a fucking genius in controlling hematocrit, like with the use of naringin and daily cardio and a lot of water. So regarding cardiomyopathy, like I think you would need to be more specific about what inflammation you're having here. What is it from? Did you get an echo and confirm that? I'm sure you have something to confirm, but yeah, that would be my suggestion. Low dose, but I think it's absolutely fine. A lot of literature suggests TRT is just very beneficial for heart. Testosterone itself is beneficial. You give people with heart failure and cardiac problems testosterone, and it makes them live longer. Heart functions better. So I don't think there's any question about that. Lower end testosterone is terrible for your fucking heart as a male. So yeah. Yeah, Trey, I don't plan to experiment with esterified DHT at any point. No, no, I to be honest with you, I hate esters. I hate shit that takes too long to metabolize, you know, because not everyone metabolizes it correctly and you got to wait too long to get the effect. You know, I'm just spoiled at this point. So prop cream is all I really fuck with unless it's a cycle. In which case it would be testosterone enanthate. I just had a really good time on testosterone enanthate for a cycle. I don't think I would have the same time on a cypionate cycle. I'd be fucking bloated out of my mind, and you know, I probably wouldn't feel all that good. Dream big ballpark. How many points have you seen pregnenolone move E2? Pregnenolone, not much. Assuming dosage puts you into the mid-high norm, not much at all. No, I don't. That's never a problem. That's really never a problem. I've never seen it be a problem. Now, does it contribute to a few point increase potentially in some people? And I haven't looked at that. Maybe, but it's never an issue where we have to remove it. Pregnenolone and DHT are more beneficial than they are not beneficial in these contexts, but you do have to watch out for your estradiol in the case of dosing more than 20 milligrams a day of DHEA. But if you need the DHEA, which again, intrapenile DHT, otherwise systemic DHT conversion, is the antagonistic action on GABA A. No, it's, what the fuck is it? It is a little bit of antagonistic action on GABA A, which helps the other excitatory neurotransmitters fire better, which helps libido. A little bit of antagonistic action on cortisol. DHEA is fucking way more multifaceted than people even believe. It's the only hormone aside from testosterone that, you know, has a clear association, the numbers do, with ED in men. You know, not enough DHEA, and you know, you're going down the route of eventually having erectile issues. Yeah. Yep. Yes, brother. Veternal G says my free test is 998 picograms per milliliter, and my estradiol is at 38. I live outside the US and don't have ultra sensitive. I take almost 3 pills of 1 milligram of anastrozole is normal. What? I'm not sure what you're asking there, but that's if that's picograms per milliliter, that's a very fucking high free test. But if it's picograms per deciliter, I've never seen that measurement. You know, I'd have to look at your blood work to figure that out. Matt says, yeah, the echo is fine on his heart. There's no problem with heart. Just caught a viral infection and my heart is inflamed because my troponin high sensitivity was high. Oh, that's not good. With no damage or anything like that. Yeah, look, I mean, trop is a pretty reputable marker for cardiac damage, essentially. But you know, if doc is suggesting there is no damage, it may have just risen from this viral infection. I think that's perfectly reasonable. You know, I think doing heavy exercise can raise trop, so you got to be careful with that, man. But what should happen is your troponin should go back down, you know, to within range. If it doesn't do that, then you got to look at something else. Yeah, something else. COVID can cause this. COVID can cause trop to be jacked. So, yeah. make sure it's the viral infection and not anything else. Because troponin is like, elevated troponin is a pretty clear indicator of MI. It's one of the major diagnostic tools for diagnostic markers for MI. So for myocardial infarction, which is a heart attack. So you want to make sure it's just a viral infection that caused that. Not anything else, brethren. Guys, the source list is 50% off right now. I do not run specials on the source list because it's a very valuable product, but I am running one now. So instead of it being $99, it takes it down to $50. It's $49.99 or something to this effect. So it's much cheaper than it usually is. So please go get it while you can, because this is ending in 3 days. I just sent out the email to our email list at livecortex.com. So a bunch of people are getting it now. So go grab it. Go grab it. Go grab it. Also, the Torque Stack, buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one free. I don't know if the code is in the description, but it is torquebogo. Torque, the word torque, and then BOGO, all one word. Get you torque at buy one, get one free right now. We are running specials, boys. Specials. Master RC, how to increase. What? Uh-oh. I just lost YouTube. I lost my internet connection, boys. All right, give me a second. Okay, here we go. How to increase semen? I have low volume. Take some lecithin, some sunflower lecithin. If you can get your hands on exogenous DHT, that will dramatically increase your ejaculate volume. Yeah, but lecithin will do a fucking huge number on that, man. Really. Additionally, though, 15 to 20 milligrams of zinc a day, just a zinc picolinate supplement, is going to increase your ejaculate volume. Preston, you think I can drop that 400 milligrams a week of prop to 300 milligrams a week and still maintain most of my muscle in a heavy calorie deficit? If you're in a calorie deficit, it's hard to say. Prop is generally noticeably less anabolic than cypionate or enthates. And a lot of that is water weight. You just have a lot less water weight, but it's also less nitrogenic. So your muscles will look less full on prop. Will you maintain? It's so hard to determine how much, like if you maintain muscle, like, I was on cycle. I've been off for a month and a half. I think I was on for just about 4 months at 500 milligrams a week generally. And I have lost, since being back on TRT, a very little bit of strength. Meaning putting 225 up in bench, I can still do it, but instead of pushing 12 reps, I'm pushing about 8. And having to work more on lower weight, higher reps to really tax my muscles. But physique-wise, I haven't lost shit. So that is a good indication that, you keep your gains on testosterone. You fucking keep them as long as you keep going to the gym and you're not in a severe fucking calorie deficit. Dream big. Would I inject HCG? I would inject HCG 3 times per week. The same day blood pressure would shoot up. Have any of your clients experienced blood pressure increase from HCG? Yeah, I not that I remember, but it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility, man. Yeah, I mean, if you're raising the estrogen and it's going past range, or your body isn't used to that much estrogen and it's just fucking shoot your blood pressure up. Mainly though, via increases in antidiuretic hormone, which, come from directly from estradiole's induction of the creation of antidiuretic hormone, which means you retain more water. That's the big problem with it. Orlando, purchase Sourceless, and it's awesome. Beautiful. Yeah, Sourceless is surprisingly, what's the word? Surprisingly, what's the word I'm trying to use? There's a lot of brevity. It's not this a long, exhaustive thing. It's like, here are my favorite vendors. Here are the primary products that we all talk about. Here's links to DHT, DHT gel, DHT powder. The critical significance of this product is you have the vendors that I've been using and that many other men that are circumventing their clinics are using for everything. You have the vendors for everything. Yeah, I mean, whether it's pharmaceutical grade Primobolan, actual Bayer Primobolan, or it's pharmaceutical grade Proviron, or it's DHT raw powder, or it's, testosterone propionate. Because right now, prop, you can't fucking get much. Like, Empower doesn't have it. Merrick's clinic doesn't have it. That's ridiculous. You know, prop is such a useful ester. Yeah, these guys are dropping the fucking ball, but you know, other people are still making it. Other still, you know, people are still making it. So that's what source list is for. I mean, again, I had gotten for so cheap 8 vials of testosterone enanthate, 300 milligrams per milliliter, delivered to my doorstep in 4 fucking days. Dude, my clinic doesn't even ship shit that fast. You know, they go through this process and it's blah, blah, blah in the pharmacy, and there's delays because of snow or Christmas or whatever. It's such a pain in the ass. You know, you order 8 fucking vials of 10 milliliter vials of enanthate or prop. It's at your door in 4 days if you're in the States. Internationally, you know, you're going to be waiting a little longer than that. Crypto Magic, if I was looking to introduce DHT and pregnenolone, would you introduce one at a time to keep an eye on size on 75 milligrams every 4th day? That's a good dose right there, but your estrogen will eventually, you're kind of on the borderline estradiol wise. Like, you know, any more than that estrogen might be problematic. You just have to manage it with something. But adding these things would cause estrogen to go up a little bit, particularly DHEA. But if I were you, I would get micronized DHEA from a company called Douglas Labs, which you can find on Amazon. And then just dose 10 to 20 milligrams a day of DHEA, and dose like 10 milligrams a day of pregnenolone, and only work up from there if you have to, if you need to, you know, like if it's not giving you any benefit and you're lacking something in TRT, take more of it, and then just manage your estrogen. Watch it. Dream big. I know Torque was built to be a daily nootropic. Shit's fucking powerful, boys. But does it have the ability to also repair the brain? No, there's really no reparative compounds in Torque. It's mainly just a daily stimulant nootropic that provides an Adderall-like effect without the mind-numbing effects of Adderall. And there's no, like, tolerance. Now, if you take it for 30 days and you stop taking it, will you be less functional? Yes, because on Torque, you're fucking more functional. But it doesn't come with any, like, longer-term weird side effects where you're in withdrawal or any of that kind of shit. Yeah, it's just perfectly put together, man. You know, we have adenosine receptor modulators, acetylcholine modulators, some dopamine modulators, some mitochondrial optimization compounds in there. It's very powerful, and it has the arguably the 2 best stimulant nootropics there are, which is teacrine and theobromine. How do you put a coupon code for Source List? You go to the checkout page and you enter it in the coupon code slot. If you don't see the coupon code slot, then you need to click on order summary so you can see your order summary. I swear people are like, it's missing the coupon code, but they won't click anything. They won't click like show your order summary, which opens up the coupon code box. It's right there. Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Wow. Hi, Michelle. Can women use your Source List? Well, no, it's mainly for anabolics and stuff for men. It's not for girls. However, like there's a girl that goes to our gym, Michelle. Michelle's a person that goes to my gym here in Pittsburgh, who uses, I won't tell you who she is, but she uses a very little bit of testosterone, a very little bit. And it makes her libido better, and she's fucking stronger. She's also a 45-year-old woman. So, you know, at that point, you know, women at 45 need a little bit of testosterone. So you can benefit from some of the stuff if you, for some reason, think you want to go on a little bit of testosterone. But at your age, I don't think you would need it unless you know, want to try it, a little bit of it. But there are some feminine stuff, like there are some female, like you could get estrogen cream if you wanted, or progesterone cream. And I don't think there's much else useful on the Source List for females other than that. MJ, since adding prop in daily with Cypionate 15 milligrams, daily sip 25 milligrams, hair starts shedding, do you think this could settle? It's probably going to settle, but that's almost definitely the prop. Yeah, prop just, it skyrockets your free testosterone, you know, and so you have a bunch of free hormones around, a little lower SHBG, and so that's probably where that's coming from. It should get better over time. Above 40 milligrams a day of prop, I have a little hair shedding, and it doesn't go away, but it just kind of levels out, or my hair grows in proportion to it, so it's fine. That's because I have good hair genes. But you know, one of the reasons I can't continually run 70 milligrams of prop a day and 3 pumps of cream, which I really like how I feel on that, just requires a little estrogen control, is hair loss. So prop will do that past a certain threshold. But that dose right there, that's more likely your genes, because I can do that and not have hair loss, you know. Pregnenolone, I have Pure Essentials, I believe. Pure Essentials, 30 milligrams per capsule pregnenolone. That's what I'm using. Crypto Magic, do I have any experience fixing brain fog? I've had it for 5 years now. Cause of brain fog, it can be multifaceted, but yeah, I mean, you need to look at everything. Testosterone, even if it's in range, get it higher, probably clear it out. Did you get the COVID shot, right? I mean, that causes all degree of inflammation in a subset of individuals. That's proven now via the scientific literature, so you can't call me a conspiracy theorist. Do you have a overgrowth of bad bacteria in your intestine that's causing you to release some inflammatory cytokines that end up in your brain, like TNF alpha? Too many causes for me to answer this question. You need to find the cause as the answer. Jordan G Unit with a big $20 super chat. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. Have I used liposomal B12 injections? No. Have you settled on Anathate as being the ester of choice to run consistently? No. I will run testosterone Anathate for testosterone cycles only, and prop and cream for TRT. Yeah, I'm running 3 pumps of cream right now. Yep. A day, just in the morning, and it's fucking great. Do I always run cream? No, I switch between them. I'll get like an impulsive knack to switch to prop. Again, higher doses, my hair is kind of a little fucking jeopardized with higher doses of prop, but I also love how I feel on 70 a prop and 3 pumps of cream a day. So I'm almost definitely at some point going to go back to that, and I'll run it for 4 weeks and feel fucking amazing. And I'll just go back down to cream. But for TRT, with everything I've learned and everything I see, it's not even about me. It's just so much with clients, but it all applies to me as well, because I respond better to fast acting stuff. I don't see a need to ever go on a fast acting ester or a slow acting ester again, unless it's a testosterone cycle. Like I can dial in on Cypionate 70 milligrams every 4th day and I'm good. Erections are great. Libido's great. I feel horny all the time. But my energy is nowhere fucking near the profoundly powerful, consistently stable energy I get on just 3 pumps of cream a day. Because by 1 p.m. I'm at 1,300 or 1,400 nanograms per deciliter total test. And I'm probably back down to like 900 or something by the next morning, or 800 or something to this effect, maybe 600. I haven't tested it before application, I don't think. But yeah, I dislike Cypionate. I like Anathate for cycles only. And I think that why wait 6 weeks to determine if a protocol is working for you when you can wait 10 days or 6 days in the case of like proper cream? Why do that? Why do that? And when prop and cream are arguably more biologically available and closer to your somewhat closer to natural endogenously produced testosterone, why run anything else? Yeah, why run anything else? That's my position on it. And all good with the questions, man. You forked out $20, man. If you have any other questions, ask them. Don't pay for them. No experience with EQ. Matt, the nurses and doctors were unable to determine the cause of my symptoms, but they mentioned that it might have been a viral infection. They conducted a variety of tests, including for COVID-19. Okay, so if it wasn't that, then great. But if you got the COVID shots, then that can cause this. Hector, curious, what would be a TRT protocol for a female? How many milligrams and at injection frequency? So I know a couple girls on TRT. Well, they're on injectable testosterone. I wouldn't call that TRT. Well, maybe, because testosterone replacement, for them. And 2.5 milligrams every other day is probably the most intelligent dose among them. Yeah. Michelle says, I've been using it regularly and it makes sense about the change in my body at the gym. Thanks for the information. We chat about more of our points. You've been using testosterone? I did not know that. Did we talk about that, Michelle? I don't know if we talked about that. But, it will help. Like, again, the other girl that goes to our gym that takes a very little bit of microdoses of testosterone, she's so much better because of it. She doesn't have like a deep voice or any virilization. She just is stronger and her body looks better and she feels better. Biscup I will be digging deeper into the low SHBG, high E2 phenotype. Not many of us, so not much info on how to raise SHBG in this case. Thyroid hormones, like actual prescribable thyroid hormones, like pharmaceutical grade fucking thyroid hormones would be one way to do this. Keto would be another, but keto comes with its own additional problems, which I wouldn't suggest doing unless you're going to carb refeed. Gray, have I tried applying cream to the delts? Yes. Yeah. What I find is more estrogen conversion when it's applied to the delts versus testicles. That's what I find. Doesn't mean it can't be fine, like good, because some people might need a little more estrogen, you know? But for me, transscrotal cream used as intended is where I'm at least right now. Okay, do I think ester DHT is unnecessary with awesome stuff like Provira? No, look, I think people tend to metabolize drugs so differently that it might be useful for you to have an esterified version of DHT, you know, maybe DHT enanthate or something. Because it just might suit you individually, metabolically, to have a slow release of DHT over, call it a 4-day period. Yeah. Dream big. When I took cab, did I have any hair shedding? No. Yeah, cabergoline does not cause hair shedding. Nope. Cabergoline is not the cause of your hair shedding. No, there's no mechanism by which that can happen. All it really does is act as dopamine replacement, and largely in the pituitary. That's all it does. I mean, it antagonizes serotonin 5-HT2 series receptor. But that's not associated with hair shedding. SHBG on cycle was 17. It normally sits between 20 and 25. No COVID shot. I had mumps when I was 17. About 36. I went on TRT back in February. I think I've been hypogonadal for years. Yeah, that's a problem. And you might need higher levels of androgens. We just talked about this, me and Dave, on the recent podcast, where people that have been androgen deprived for a while need higher levels of androgens for a long time, especially for erections. Guys that have like full blown ED from being hypogonadal for a while. I mean, you've downregulated AR function, probably in penile tissues, but also nitric oxide or AR dependent nitric oxide function. And you might have developed a degree of fibrosis. That's the precise reason you have nocturnal erections, is to stave off fibrosis. And if you're not having them, your junk is more susceptible to fucking have fibrosis, which is effectively thickening and scarring of the tissue, which impedes blood flow. You don't want that. Love that name. If one got naturally high T 1100 plus, can one use on training days, prop on training days to boost gains? Well, yeah, sure, you could. I'd run 20 milligrams. I mean, if you're looking to just get an anabolic effect, then you're probably better off using either cream, enanthate, or cypionate, honestly. But to each their own. I mean, you're still going to have anabolic response from prop. It's just a little less anabolic. But yeah, run 30 milligrams. If that's your goal, run 30 milligrams, of prop. It might fuck with your sexual function because estrogen might go too high. You then have to dial in, as anyone would, while you're using testosterone. But, if you're periodically dosing it like this, then you might be okay. Yeah. DHEA, I forget if DHEA has the ability to lower SHBG. I think it's possible. I do not think it would be catastrophic or problematic, though. Jordan, to clarify, you cycle between cream and test prop, or do you do both together? There's times where I run 70 milligrams of test prop a day with 3 pumps of cream a day. That is my favorite TRT. It's not TRT. That is my favorite testosterone protocol in the world. But it nukes my hair. It starts to nuke my hair. So I kind of can't do it consistently. So I'll run it for 4 weeks or 8 weeks, and then I got to get off of it because my hair, I'll start to notice, especially just right in the middle, I'll notice just open spots, and I'll see my hair coming out in the shower and shit like that. Generally speaking, yeah, well, I mean, running 500 of enanthate was my first testosterone cycle. So, I will go back on cycle again, but I'm pretty happy with the gain so far, and my strength is good, and I'm just on TRT now, and I've maintained my physique, and it looks good. So I don't care about going on cycle for at least the next 6 months. 6 months from now, will I want to run another 4-month cycle of testosterone NT to get more gain? Yes, I will. I will want to, have the fuel to build more muscle tissue, after which I can maintain it. But it isn't ideal for TRT, that's for sure. It isn't ideal for, to be consistently on. I mean, I was at 4,000, 5,000 nanograms per deciliter total test for that long. So one of those things. For TRT, yeah, I stick with, at this point, just cream. Yeah, I'm just running 3 pumps of cream a day in the morning. And, but I have prop alone in TRT doses of 40 milligrams a day, some DHA, pregnant, a little HEG. And I can dial in on that too. So I've spent so much time over the years dialing in protocols with people but my own that I have a lot of fail safes. So if I just get the knack to try something that I already know works and it's fun and it's interesting and it's new, I do that. So right now, though, I don't feel that itch to change anything. I feel really good on 3 pumps of cream. I always have. This is funny. I'll tell you what, I've considered, because I had my cat fixed years ago. I didn't want to. I actually staved it off for 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. Because I don't think you should castrate a cat. But they also fucking spray. Male cats will spray piss as a way of marking territory in your house and on your girl's shit. Like my ex-girlfriend, my cat would go and spray her business bag that she carried her laptop in. It just so I ended up getting him fixed, and I really didn't want to. But I am this close to pulling the trigger on basically TRT for him. Yeah, because, it's going to be summer soon. He goes outside. There's fucking predators out there. He hangs out with local cats. And, there's a couple really big looking, fucked up looking fucking birds that are in my backyard at any given time. And they can fuck with cats. These are big birds. So, yeah, I'll probably have him doing a little bit of TRT. Probably just a veterinary prescribed, bi-weekly injection or weekly injection, something to this. I have no problem driving him 10 minutes up the road to get it to. He's my fucking best friend. So there's that. Nico, hey Ryan, what's your opinion on methyl DHT in comparison to DHT powder? Well, methyl DHT is Proviron, basically. With less potency than actual DHT, but it's close to methylated DHT as you're going to get. And I think that they're both very, very effective. I think that with DHT, it's in and out of your system very quickly. So you got to kind of dose it a lot or in high doses. My sense after just 6 months of experimentation, so my sense might be different in 2 years, is 20 to 30 milligrams twice a day, 3 times a day might be good for people. Whereas 25 to 50 milligrams Proviron once a day is fucking more than enough. So they're different. They're different, but some of this is the masculinizing and the confidence and the sexual benefits are pretty comparable. Yeah. Matt got the COVID shot years ago. Yeah, well, that could be causing some of these issues, man. Fucking, again, it's in the scientific literature now, so no conspiratorial shit about it. That's why I didn't fucking touch it. I knew early on when we were called crazies for saying so. I knew. I mean, I read the fucking scientific literature. I became part of the Telegram group of people that died from it. Literally. It was this group of Telegram people. And then you had them. They were liberals, obviously. You had them on social media going like, "Got my, you know what," and then their obituaries. So, I mean, don't be a fucking idiot. But yeah, good luck that you got it now. All you can do is manage your health in the meantime. Crypto, and that whole thing pisses me off. People, we got so much shit for having blowback, and now on Joe Rogan, literally yesterday, Zuckerberg was on there going, well, the government told us to take shit down that was antithetical to the notion of the efficacy of vaccines. We fucking knew. Next time, trust your gut and don't go with the goddamn herd. Quit your fucking job if they want to make you do something that hasn't been fucking tested. God damn it, man. Crypto Magic, do you think there's a total test number? I digress. I should aim for slightly overweight, so aromatize quite a bit. I don't think so. I think in this case you want to shoot for like 700, 800 nanograms per deciliter. That's going to give you anabolic benefits, not substantially, but enough. Some of the other benefits of TRT, a lot of people feel good right in that range because estrogen doesn't go crazy. If you aromatize quite a bit, having more body fat, then you might need to take, Masteron or Primobolan or an AI with this at very low doses. If the calcium glucarate is helping, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. You got to determine if that's helping. But I'd shoot for 700, 800. Steve Wonderful, is prop better every other day or every other day or every day? It depends. Depends on the person. Yeah. What does it depend on? What I think it depends on is on trough, how low does estrogen go? Like if you're running 50 milligrams every other day and on your trough at 48 hours, when you start troughing, does the estrogen go low enough to where when you re-inject, and then you do that over the course of 2 weeks, the estrogen isn't problematic? Then every other day is fine. If estrogen goes either too high for you or you respond negatively to 35 or 40 picograms per milliliter of estradiol, which is fucking common enough, then every day might be better at a lower dose. Yeah, unless you want to take an AI, or take Masteron or Primo or something. Gray says, Gray A parentheses Anthony says, from experience, if you have chronic low androgens and go on relative doses, get ready for androgen drive, structural and body changes, jaw, face, hair growth, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sure. If you've been deprived of testosterone and you go on even regular doses, well, I think in all these cases, you need higher doses initially. And, that might cause side effects or whatever, but you need those androgens, man. You really do. Then, things will certainly change. Like for me, when I got on testosterone, not like I had between 700 and 900 naturally, but I never worked out. So I didn't look big. Yeah, I was a runner. So I was basically skinny all my fucking life, with the exception of a period in my 20s where I lifted weights. And so for me, like it just allowed me to want to lift weights and, build more muscle, like want to go to the gym and lift weights. I never was a weightlifter. Some people were like, this is why some guys were like, for being on high doses of testosterone, you look sort of small. Well, I never worked out. I never lifted weights. I was always a runner starting from my time in the fucking army. And after, that's just like the extent of the exercise that I did. Only really recently got into weightlifting. So, testosterone fucking helps for sure. It's just, you can synthesize more protein in your muscle and you have more physical energy to lift weights. One interesting thing that I found though is now being off cycle, I'm a little less strong than I was, a little bit, not nothing substantial. And what seems to be really helping me to maintain tissue is to do lower weight, higher rep. Whereas on cycle, I'm just pushing as heavy as weights as I can. So that built some tissue, but maintaining it is a matter for me of lower weight, higher rep. Thank you, brother. Glad you're here. All right. TO115. Should I try to use T3 if SHBG is low? Thyroid antibodies okay, liver okay. Why is your SHBG low and how low is it is what I would ask you. Yeah, well, I mean, your TSH might be a tad bit high. You're going to have to try and see. You're going to have to try it and see. If you get any side effects, you got to back off, lower the dose, halve the dose, figure out the dose that works. But if your SHBG isn't below 10, I really wouldn't see that being a problem. It usually isn't. Thoughts on pumping? So penis pumping before applying cream. I think it's useful in theory. It's useful in theory, right? Because the thing about pumping is I do it as a erection maintenance thing. The thing about pumping is like you superficially engorge the tissues with blood. That's great. That's a great thing. That is your anti-fibrotic or anti-fibrosis thing that you have to do. Like it's the only measure you have to prevent fibrosis is having healthy nocturnal erections. And, you could superficially do that by just pumping, pumping twice a day for 10 minutes at a medium pressure. That's what I do. Yeah. Not every day, but most of the time it's in the shower. So I just do it along with brushing my teeth and flossing. And it's a whole ordeal.
My showers, if they're not like right in the morning or whatever, lasts longer than the average male because of that, but I don't give a fuck. I'd rather maintenance my erections and never have to deal with ED like I did in my early 30s. Yep. No wonder she is your ex, JK. LOL. I forget what we were talking about regarding her. My cat, pissing on her work thing. Matt, do you think testosterone can worsen troponin levels? I do not. No, I do not. That would indicate it's causing some degree of heart inflammation or particularly cardiac muscle damage, which it does not do. Does not do. Unless you're blasting 2 grams a week for 5 years, then maybe. Dream Big feels Masteron does everything Proviron does for some. Interesting. I love the way I feel Masteron. No, I have heard this. Yeah. Again, DHT derivatives response can be different between people. What this is doing is, it's agonizing the ARs in a way which is disassociates less or in less time than testosterone. That's one thing, because it stays longer at the receptor. Secondarily, though, you antagonize estrogen receptors and you inhibit aromatase a little bit. So for you, it's just the right balance. It's just the right balance. All these things are so useful insofar as just getting you in the test estrogen ratio and the estrogen not being crazy or out of range for you or whatever. I have guys that are estrogen's in range, but they need it 5 points lower, 7 points lower, and then everything is good. So you just never know. But great. This is great. For me, I don't aromatize a lot, all things considered, compared to perhaps people who would aromatize more. So even a little bit of Masteron, and after 4 or 5 days, I start having low estrogen symptoms. So I can't tolerate a lot of it. Now, if I was running, I'd have to run 700, 800 milligrams of test in order to take Masteron and be fine. Yeah. This makes sense. Injectable DHT in a dog, and he listened. Marion, hey brother, adding P5P was a game changer for my energy levels and libido. What I'm wondering is taking P5P versus a B6 shot from the AA. The same thing, or they each work differently? P5P is the endpoint of metabolized B6. It also has additional endpoints though. So P5P is just biologically available version. When you take B6, you convert it to P5P. But, your body might have rate limiting things that prevent enough P5P. So taking P5P itself bypasses that. Am I running Anavar? I did for 14 days and on cycle, previous to that of testosterone and 500 milligrams a week. The one thing I didn't look at was ApoB, apolipoprotein B. And after 14 days of Anavar, I got my ApoB and it was elevated. Now, did the Anavar elevate it, or did the cycle elevate it, or did both? I don't know. I have theories on that. And so I laid off the Anavar. Until I can get that ApoB down. I'm due to go look at that in about a month and a half again. If I want to look at ApoB in a month and a half, I'm doing targeted things to lower it, and I need to get it in range. It's very slightly above range, which is in the mild risk category. It's really not a problem, but I don't want it above range. So before I take any more Anavar, I'm getting it down. Getting it down for sure. Yep. Preston, do I think guys who have been androgen deprived for years respond better to high dose TRT? Yes. And they respond less good to regular dose TRT, and they respond fucking very poorly to elevated estrogen. Very fucking poorly. That's really the biggest issue. Having 1,000 tests is usually suitable for these people, but the estrogen in even that case goes too high. That's one thing. Yeah, if I haven't made that clear, if you've been androgen deprived for a while, you'll be one of those estrogen sensitive people that, estrogen above range, and usually it's the Quest range, not the LabCorp range, of 29 picograms per milliliter is problematic for your dick. Yes, that's almost always the fucking case. Almost always the case. So high dose TRT becomes tricky. Now, if these people respond well to AIs, which not everyone does, there's a lucky people that take AIs, they don't get joint pain, they don't get nothing. It just lowers the estrogen enough and their dick works and everything's great. Then the higher doses are better with an AI. Yes, with an AI. Don't have any thoughts on this. Haven't ran HGH, don't intend to. So that's kind of where it is. How do you get updates to the source list? The current version of the source list is current. That's it. You should have 4 downloads of the source list. So, but people made the mistake of not downloading the actual PDF onto a computer and just reopening the email link each time, which re-downloads it again, and then you've wasted your downloads. So you can't do that. But if you want to email me with your order number, I'll send you the newest copy. The only change is that on Hunter's sites, you add to cart instead of emailing him to get an order. That's all. That's the only change right now. John Doe, 120 milligrams, test C 3 times a week. So, okay, so you're dosing like 40, right? 3 times a week. And 0.375 milligrams to 0.5 of a natural keeps total T at 1500 and free T's 26. What daily dose of prop for TRT would be good for me? Start at 20. Start at 20 and prop just changes everything. It's nowhere near pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics of testosterone cypionate. Nowhere near the effect, nowhere near the, just all kinds of differences, nitrogen retention and anabolism and all these things. So, as well as that you trough faster on prop. So just start at 20 milligrams and you're starting fresh then. You're starting fresh. I've seen guys take 15 milligrams a day and reach above 1500, meaning, the regular testosterone test didn't know what the testosterone was because it was above 1500 because they don't measure above that. You got to get the LCMS one to measure above that. And I also see people that run 40 milligrams a day and they're at 1600. That's where they peak. That's rare, but it does happen. Yeah, with between 30 and 50 milligrams a day of test prop, you're probably peaking at 2000. Yeah, 2000 or so. But then you're going back down. You might be at 1300 or 1100 by injection, next injection. All right, boys, fucking epic questions. I'm going to end the stream. I got some stuff I got to tend to. Again, sourceless right now is 50% off. So those of you that haven't gotten it yet, I couldn't give you a better deal. The code is source. You enter it at checkout. Takes 50% off literally right now. That goes away in 3 days. So get it while you can. Otherwise, the Torque Stack is buy one, get one free. The code for that is torquebogo. Just the word torque and then BOGO, all one word at checkout. Buy one, get one free, boys. Other than that, go watch the Dave Lee podcast. Again, let me just show you guys real quick so that we're all in check. This here, I mean, it is...
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money.
Crazy for an hour and a half talking about all things TRT, all the good shit. All the good shit that we typically discuss and more. So it's very, very useful and super fucking informative. It's just awesome. So great chatting with you guys, man. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I don't know where you're at, but here it's snowing fucking again, which bothers me. I'm just about over winter, man. I'm just about ready to pull the trigger on the Carolinas or Florida for 6 months out of the year. So I guess we'll see what the fuck happens. Other than that, Content Monday likely, so look forward to that. Please watch the Dave Lee podcast. It's fucking epic. We want to get that to like 5,000 views if we can. It's at 2,000 right now. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your guys' effort to earnestly show up for these live streams. It means a fucking lot to me, man. Like the video if you haven't. That also makes a big difference. Like the video, bro. Hey, bro, like the video, bro. And I'll chat with you guys soon. Later. Bye. See ya.